I was speaking at an executive retreat. The environment, the place where this was situated was beautiful. The scenes were stunning. And within this room sat 6 CEOs, pretty relaxed environment, mostly sitting in big lounge chairs. And I was talking with them that weekend about servant leadership. The topic on this final day of 3 days was going to be on setting an example, and specifically on the power and impact of care. And as I was discussing this idea of care, I was leading to the question of what is their intention going back when they return to their organizations? How will they intentionally care for their people? And then I hesitantly shifted and I began to explain that through the research I had done, this idea of care really could also be described as love. And then I explained to them how, for me, when I use that word, love, it feels a little too personal, or it feels a little too soft for the organizational setting. And then a shift happened, and those 6 CEOs that sat there sort of got up in their chairs a little bit, and they began to talk about this idea of love. And each of them articulated how love played a significant role in how they cared for their people. And it really began to allow me to rethink this idea of care and love and how these two principles interact with each other. And I also realized that amongst this smart, successful group of CEOs, that their desire to learn and grow and impact other people's lives, this concept of love ran deep for them. And it led me to this question of how do I care? And how do I care in a way that's motivated by love as I'm leading and serving others? And then that question led to an acronym, and the acronym was around the word care. And I started thinking, what does it really take to care? And the number one thing is C, it takes commitment. It doesn't just take commitment to the profits or the profitability of the company. It takes a real commitment to the people. If I'm going to commit to the people that make up the organization, then I want to build trust with them and have relationship with them. So care became about a commitment to me, a deeper and deeper commitment that each of us as leaders need to think about. And that commitment needs to be motivated out of care, but also motivated out of love. The second concept that came to mind is that this idea of care has to be motivated by alignment. And it's not just alignment with others around the things we agree on or that we find similar to one another. It's also finding places of alignment in our dissimilarity, in our complementary mix of gifts, skills, and abilities. And then as I continued to think about this word care, motivated by love for people, the R came into mind, and that became about reinforcement. And really, how am I reinforcing the best of what is in my behavior as a leader? And also, how am I encouraging and reinforcing the best of what is in these other people's leadership, those that work for me or with me? And then finally, as I thought about this idea of care and I got deeper with it, in addition to commitment and alignment and reinforcement came empowerment. And that really harkens back to this idea of servant leadership, where we think about how do I use power, and how can I use the power that I have to empower others? And this idea of empowerment is critical because it's all what we do with power. Am I using power as a tool to serve others, or am I using power as a weapon, as something that I kind of place over others? And so if it's going to be about care and the power and impact of care, then empowerment and using power as a tool to empower others becomes critical. So as I think through all of this, and as I was motivated to continue thinking about it, and as I'm thinking about today in our coffee break and talking to all of you, I have a few questions that I want you to think about when it comes to the power and impact of your care and how that care can be motivated from a place of love and commitment to others. So commitment. The question that I have for you today is, what can you do to intentionally build trust and a committed relationship with those around you? The second question is around alignment, and it's, what are the points of alignment where together you can maximize potential? Question number 3, reinforcement. What behaviors can you model and encourage others to model to reinforce the best of what is, really anchored to those values? And the fourth question has to do with empowerment, and it's, how can you use your power to empower others? This Setting an Example series began with the power and impact of your words. It was followed up last week with the power and impact of your behavior. And today we're really talking about this idea of the power and impact of your care. Commitment, reinforcement, commitment, alignment, reinforcement, and finally, empowerment. If this content is helpful to you, please like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm Michael Coffey, we're Cultivate Group. You are fantastic. And until next week, be well, do well, and lead well.